All right, so we have one more thing. This one's we're gonna rapid fire this one because man, this took longer than I thought it would. Um, we wanna rate classes as how good they are as your primary. This is gonna be a lot more contentious and pretty interesting, and it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to analyze, but I think it'll be fun. I only really identified these four things that matter for a primary, how versatile there are. Like, you can throw a bard in there and it works with everything. You can throw a rogue in there and it's not really that versatile. The linchpinness, because I couldn't think of a better word. Hey, thanks for the follow, Noquar. It's like Shaman, right? Shaman is a linchpin class. So is Paladin, right? Like they can carry because they cover so many bases. Subsequent trios. Now this matters because you don't know how lucky you're going to get in Sky. You don't know what you're going to unlock, right? So, and you don't know, and also what weapons you can get from Sky matter for subsequent leveling. And then we can throw the overall power rating that we just did as the last consideration, right? So I have another thing open. Bam. And this one I'm going to leave D because I think there might be some Ds. Maybe. So we'll start with Bard. We're going to make our question mark guy here so we can copy and paste that over and over again. So let's start with Bard. Bard versatility is like a 10, right? No, a 9. It's a 9. And I'll tell you why it's not a 10. Because if you put a Bard and an Enchanter in the same build, you have no spell gems. So I'll give it a 9 for versatility, only because the spell gems thing is a real problem. But other than that, it would be a 10. It's a joke class. Beast, yeah. Yes, you can do Sky Quests for things you're not playing, because I have done the Cleric. I have done the Cleric PR neck, and I have never played a Cleric. It also soaks so many AA, yeah. I mean, that's like a... That's like... I don't know where that fits in here. Alright, so how about linchpinness? Like, how hard can a bard carry your trio? It's not really that good. It does cover a lot of bases, though. It gives you the best haste, and you don't have to pay attention to it. It gives you AoE slow. It doesn't really carry. Yeah, it doesn't really carry. But it does provide things you need, like haste and slow. So maybe like a 3, just because it has slow and haste. Yeah, it has quality of life, which helps your AoE slow is real nice. No need to cast. Yeah. I don't know where we put that AA thing in. That is kind of a problem as a primary, right? Let's put another category. We're gonna put another category in here real quick, and we're gonna call it debt, aka Bard AA necessity. There. So for debt, Bard is like terrible, right? It's a big problem with Bard. I guess that you can put the whole spell gem economy in here too, right? Okay, let's do that. We'll put that as a 10. Spell gem economy. There. So it can be 10 for versatility, and then we can just say that it has some debt. It needs a million AAs, and it eats all your spell gems. You need a first trio rating versus subsequent. No, but the first trio and subsequent are the same. They're like together, right? Because it being your primary matters for subsequents unless you live in Sky for 3 weeks. Like just unlocking every class. It matters what you pick first. Bard is the highest debt in a trio by a wide margin. That's probably true. So we just put it as 0. It's literally just, it has so much debt. It has so much debt. Both of these things are like you're right. It's like the heaviest. Subsequent trios, I'd give it like an 8 at least. Right? Because like re-leveling Bard, it doesn't get great weapons. Its planar gear is pretty okay, but it's so helpful. The list is the exact same at the top. Is it really? The list is the exact same at the top? I don't think so. I mean, maybe. We'll see. Bard adds something to literally every trio. It's just level dependent from power spikes. Yeah. And then overall power, we just copy what we said before. We don't need to think about it. I mean, how do we average that? I guess we just look at the tier list. And we'll just give it like a 7. Looks like that's about a 7. Alright, so that's where Bard is for primary. Bard adds something to literally every trio. You know. The top 4 are the exact same. Maybe Pally moves up 1. Yeah, Pally, I think Pally's like the best for primary. I think Paladin's like the best for primary, personally. Just because Slay Undead is just that. Slay Undead, while being a tank and a healer at the same time, is just absolutely disgusting for leveling subsequent trios. Because like the AoE mez on the Enchanter matters less the more gear you have. But Lay on Hands scales with gear, and how hard the Paladin carries scales with gear, so it gets better. It gets better each time. Let's get this out of the way. Alright, who's next? So, I mean, I guess we just... I mean, I guess it just kind of puts it in the same place, right? Maybe you're right. Maybe this is going to be almost the same. Paladin covers all the bases, unfortunately. But you don't... Because you don't want to play a Paladin. I wonder if this list is going to be almost the same. That'd be unfortunate. We'll go fast then. So, Berserker. Versatility is like a 2, right? It's good with knights, but it's really one-dimensional. And the only versatility it really has is that you can do Shadowknight or Paladin, or I guess you can throw it in there with a monk and a rogue. Like it's okay with melee things, right? You're all in on a stance. That's true. We'll just put it at a 1. It's bad. It's not versatile. Linchpinness is a 0. It doesn't carry. It doesn't carry at all. The only thing, I mean, it has a crazy weapon, but yeah, no, it doesn't carry at all. See, like this is what I'm talking about. I think for a primary, Berserker's a D. I think it's terrible. I think it's a terrible primary. I think for a primary, this is terrible. Subsequent trio, so it's good for subsequent trios. Actually, maybe it's like a 6 because you get the sky weapon. If you get the sky weapon with a Berserker, you're just going to start absolutely giga blasting everything, right? And then it won't matter how tanky or whatever you are. You kill it instantly, so it doesn't matter. Big 2-handed with cleave makes the warrior Berserker IMO, but there are not many options, yeah. You need to add the debt line. Oh, you're right, I'm stupid. You're right, thank you. We'll put it there. The debt line. Berserker doesn't have anything, right? I don't think Berserker has any debt. If you go up against leveling champ, yeah. It is a leveling champ for sure. Even the Cleric Hammer for Sky is only slightly worse than the Berserker. Wait, whoa. You know what? I think the Cleric Hammer is actually like the best any slot item. Elcry. I think it might be the best any slot item. I had a +4 Sky Zerk weapon on level 10 and still wouldn't play it as a main carry. Yeah, I had a +5 Sky Zerk weapon, and I agree with you, Neo. I wouldn't play it as a carry. It's not good for carrying. It has 0 debt though, right? You don't really have anything. There's no, I guess maybe like a little bit because of the stance. Maybe the stance is actually kind of, and then endurance. Is it really an endurance hog? I thought Berserker was like the most endurance efficient stance. Every melee that has Plane of Sky weapons early on will have no endurance. They will delete their endurance because you're going to do way too much damage and it's just going to be gone. That happens to everybody with good gear, except for wizards, I guess. To have debt, you need to bring more to the table as a class. It's super efficient. It's endurance friendly. That's what I thought, Steve. I thought it was like the most endurance friendly compared to offensive or striker or something. It's also a slow 2-handed. To level misses will suck more. Is that really? I feel like with Berserker stance, that's like not a thing. What was the debt Berserker? I just feel like the Berserker stance, because it like, yeah, maybe it is just 0. Or maybe it's a 10? We're doing it backwards, right? It has no debt, like at all. It just doesn't, yeah, it's just, it doesn't have anything you need to do for it to work. It just works. It just works. Okay, so overall power of Berserker, what'd we say? B, so it's like a 5. It's like a 5. So where does this go? But I still think it's a D. If you stay in stance, it's great. Other than that, it's just frenzy, yeah. I think it's a D. I think it's like one of the worst primaries in the game. Personally. Even though, like, you know, it doesn't have any debt. It's because it can't carry. It can't carry. Zerker is what you play if you want to be different. I'm different, yo. I'm different. All right, what do we have next here? I should make, wait, hang on. How do I make one of these things? Add row below. We want to make this a rating just so I can stop. Whoops, I don't want Control S. That was compulsive. Beastlord. Beastlord's better than Berserker at primary. It's certainly more versatile. How versatile is a Beastlord? It gives you dual wield. It has some heals. It's not the least tanky thing in the world. It's got slows. Like a 4? It's pretty versatile. It's not like really good at anything, but it does a lot of things. Maybe it's higher than that. Maybe it's like a 6. For versatility, it's pretty good, right? It's just not really good at any of those things that it's versatile in. It does everything, just not amazingly. Yeah, so it's like a worse version of a bard, basically. It's just a worse bard. Only redeeming quality is how good a gap filler they are. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So versatility, they're good. Yay! They're not total trash at everything. Hey! You know what? As a Lich-Pin too, they can kind of carry a little bit. Like if you can kind of tank, and you can kind of heal, and you can kind of slow, it's like it's not a 0. It's not a 0. It's like anything with a heal can't be a 0 linchpin, right? Like if you have a heal, it's so good, right? Like you need something to sustain yourself with. Like if you want to play Warrior Rogue Beastlord, before level 30, that heal is going to be pretty important, right? By that basis, Berserker would be higher than a 0. That's fair. That's fair. Okay, so I guess we need to define the linchpin thing a little better. Block, dual wield, and slower to every build is nice. I agree. I mean, slow is a carry ability, right? Like in certain circumstances, having a slow not being carried does not equal a good carry. That's fair. That's fair. So maybe we need to rethink this. You can build around Beastlord. I agree. You can build around a Beastlord. I think it's even better than a 2. I'm going to give it a 3. Because you can build around a Beastlord. I think it's fine. Okay. Let's change it. Can you build around this? There. Is that a better way instead of saying carry? It's like a more like objective way to think about it, right? I'm not going to change all the top ones because I don't care. Debt. Does it have any debt? Does it have anything to make it function? 3 or 4. It's not doing the damage carry, but can do pretty much everything else, yeah. Just having pet slow and heal is great, yeah. What? Does it have any debt? A negative is not a positive. A negative is not a positive. Slow and heals are not a negative. Slow and heals are 100% a positive. It doesn't have any debt, right? I can't think of anything. Oh, we need 10. There's nothing that makes it... You don't need to get anything for it to function, right? It's being used very loosely here for Beastlord. That's... I mean, it is. It is Dastion. It is debt that you've wasted one of your 3 classes. Oh, a couple of pet management AA. Okay, that's a thing. You need the greater hold thing. Because pets without greater hold are going to make you want to throw stuff sometimes, right? I think you should switch the bard debt to 10 and the other ones to 0 before we're too deep. Oh, I see what you're saying. So higher is worse. Okay, we can do that. There. There. So higher is bad in debt, which makes sense logically, right? So it has the pet debt. Okay. Subsequent trios. A 0? It's terrible after the first trio, right? It's terrible after the first trio. Because once you have like giga weapons and stuff, and you don't even really need the healing because your gear is so ridiculous, Beast does so little all of a sudden. Like the slow is still something. I guess we just give it a 1 then, because it still has a heal. It still has a heal. So it's like not nothing, but it's approaching nothing. For Shaman, you went full affliction crit A's and it worked out great. Nice. Did you just like mass poison dot everything, Black? It has slow and pet buffs. Just having a Treant as a pet is worth a more painful existence. I mean, I can't argue with that logic. If you like Treants that much, it is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. And then overall power was like, it was bad, right? It was bad. But I still think it's better than a Berserker. It's better than a Berserker for primary. Right? I think everything's probably going to be better. You can't even see the Wood Elf pellet. Is it that small? Can you make it bigger, though, with the options? It's slightly better than Zerk because of Stain, yeah. Unfortunately, your pet is never going to be great when you re-level with amazing gear. That's not true, Coercer. Have you given a Plane of Sky weapon to a pet at level 4? Or at level 10? Have you done it? Because it sounds like you haven't. It sounds like you haven't. Because your pet at level 10 will in fact hit for like 150. It is surprisingly effective. Pets shred at level 10 with a Plane of Sky. I think a Fangle is probably the best pet weapon to have to just pass it around when you're leveling with a pet, right? Oh yeah, or you give the Enchanter the Fiery Avenger. Yeah. Or you can give it an Aldrin. Get 2 Aldrins. Berserker overall power should come down, or Beast needs to come up. Why? We already rated this separately. What do you mean? This overall power is for us rating the classes individually previously. And I'm just going by this previous tier set. People get so stuck on them having to dual wield the two-handed pets is leveling goes hard. Yeah, it really does. It really does. At the beginning, pets with a two-hander are cracked. Give the pet a haste belt, pet and some decent armor at Rex. Yeah, I agree. So okay, so maybe this goes higher because of the pet thing. I guess you can't be that low if you have a pet because of early levels. Whatever. All right, we're done with Beast. This guy's depressing. Let's look at a Cleric. Beast is depressing. What's Cleric's versatility is pretty high. If your pet carries you, then it's great. That's true. That's true. If your pet carries you, it's pretty good. All the poison dot lines are OP. That's true. Odium and Poison are both very, very high DPS dot lines. They're not terribly efficient, but their damage per cast time or execution time is quite high. A 7? That sounds pretty legit. Because you can put it in anything, and it's going to give you good heals right away, right? The most versatile... No, I think Bard's still more versatile. Because if you put a Cleric with a Shaman or a Cleric with a Druid, it loses a lot of its value, right? Not all of it, but a lot of it. Isn't PR heal a trap, though? I mean, if you have a crap ton of hit points, I don't think it is. There's an opportunity cost with PR, which is 0 also, Twerk. If you know what I mean by that. Like, casting heals other than PR has an opportunity cost of the fact that you have to actually cast it. And you have to worry about what stance you're in when you cast it, blah, 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 blah. But with PR, you don't. It's just, bam, instant. It's on you. You keep attacking. It's almost like you never did anything. So there's a lot of value there. With high crit rate and level up, Odium is insane. Yeah. Yeah. I could see that being true, Black Hat. You get plate? That's true. Cleric gives you plate. All right, linchpinness. What does it do? Can you build around this? Certainly. Certainly. Like a 6? It gives you plate, it gives you heals. You throw anything else in there, it'll be fine for leveling, right? And the weapon you get from Sky for Cleric is also quite good. They're two-handed weapon. You can go punch things with a Cleric weapon. Cleric slash anything, yeah. I mean, it should be fine. PR's a lot of mana at 39 until you upgrade it. Yeah, it is like 900 mana, isn't it, Jay? Like, I think it's like 900. Neck, AAs, and Shaman just stack. Yeah, they have crazy synergy. That's true, they do. Cleric's probably very solid. It's 900. Okay. Debt. It doesn't have any debt, does it? Does it have something like pet? Like the pet debt? I think it might be like Berserker. I don't think it has any. Because you get all the spells. 0. Yeah, I don't think it has any. Cleric leveling is insanely easy if you stay undead slaying. Yeah, that's true. That's true. They are good at killing undead. Subsequent trio. This is they're worse. I think they're worse at subsequent ones. I honestly think they might be the same as a beast for subsequent. Hey Kithius, thanks for the donation, man. So excited for Tuesday. I've been enjoying your videos leading up to it. Thanks for all the content and looking forward to more. We are gonna try and keep doing them. Thank you very much, man. What's a 10 for linchpin? Paladin? I think Paladin's a 10 for linchpin. You don't need crap with a Paladin. Paladin hard solo carries everything. It's the tank, it's the DPS, it's the heals, it's everything. It's the pacify, it's everything. It's everything. Yeah, I think Cleric is about the same as Beast. Maybe it's even worse. Because the pet thing with the Beast is going to be really good. Now, maybe it's still the same, because it still gets better heals. It's probably about the same. What do you guys think? It doesn't bring much other than just really good heals the next time, though. Overall power is like, is it like a 10? It's a 9 or an 8? We'll give it a 9. It's like a 9 for overall power. So where does Cleric go? For first class, I feel like it's about the same as a Bard. What do you guys think? I think it's probably similar to a Bard for first. It's less versatile. Maybe I think a Bard's better. I think a Bard's better for the first one. High B. Is having haste spells a must? I think so. I think having haste once you have decent weapons is kind of just a must, right? Cleric makes your other classes better itself. It's not amazing. Okay, yeah, let's give it a B. Carry through and Bard can't on first primary. That's kind of true, Kyle. Just A because of plate, and that can be used any other class, so it's like the same as Bard, but a little worse. Because Charm, also, having Charm every time you level up is kind of crazy, right? But harder the haste clickies to get an EQL. It depends what combo you are, Twerk. What do Monk get? The boots? Ranger gets the cloak? Who else gets a haste clicky in Sky, guys? I know Monk and Ranger do. I don't know who else does. Haste is totally useless if you play Shaman Necro. I mean, if you put a Monk in there, it's not useless. You put a Monk with Shaman Necro, which is probably one of the more popular combos, and haste is definitely not useless. Monk weapons slap, man. But I get your point. I get your point, Black Hat. War Cleric Bard rocks too. Yeah, I'm not gonna play that, Steve. I think that's a flavor of the month overrated combo, but it is functional, and you'll never die. With the War primary, you've got that in your list too. Okay. Warrior Bard Shaman. I'd rather play. I don't think I could play Bard with Shaman. Shaman dots greater than Monk Pal damage anytime. Yeah, you're probably right for just damage. You're probably right. Slightly worse than Bard. Okay, so I think we're good with Cleric. I think this is about right. Where'd my thing go? Oh, I didn't do it. I'm so dumb. I didn't copy my question mark guy. Senior moment, yo. I don't like having to type this every time. That's why I started doing this, because it's annoying. Okay, who's next? We got Druid. Druid's not that terrible. It's very versatile. What do you think? Druid's very versatile. Gives you spell crit for wizard builds. Gives you DS for leveling. It gives you heals that are pretty good. It gives you pacify eventually. It gives you speed. It's pretty good. How can Lynch be a 6 staying alive? Because, I mean, a lot of things can keep you alive. There's a lot of things that can keep you alive for a trio, right? There's more than just healing to being a linchpin, right? You got to do damage too. You got to have good gear to do the damage. You got to have utility, right? Literally only sustain off Necro life tap for like 7 combos. Yeah, I could believe that. I believe that with the Necro. Linchpin. Can you build around a Druid? You can. You can. I think it's slightly worse. It's probably about maybe a little better than a Beast building around, because if you put an Enchanter with a Druid, they look a lot better all of a sudden. Right? Or even a Bard with a Druid, they start looking a lot better. Druid's another gap filler, so long as you have haste, slow somewhere, yeah. Maybe like a 4. Because they'll keep you alive, but they're missing a lot of stuff that you really want. While leveling at low level, you found Druid damage shield to be very good. Yeah, that sounds right, Black Hat. Their DS is quite good, especially the first time. Heals are king, and that goes with any group. I don't think heals are king. I think heals are king the first time you level. And once you have crazy gear, as long as you have some way to heal, you're fine. And then you're more worried about just blasting. Unless you're talking about bosses, then the equation changes. Just went through Discord for all the new announcements. So ready? Yeah. I'm ready too, classified. Hots are king? Has anyone tried triple pure casters? Somebody did. Somebody was saying in Twitch they did the, what was it? Bard, Enchanter, Wizard? Well, Bard, Necro, Wizard. They did D4 Interrupt with Bard, Necro, Wizard. That's kind of like triple pure caster. Kind of. Not quite, but kind of. He got pissed off at triple caster. Druid is very versatile. They can slot into almost anything. It may not be the best, but it'll be solid. Yeah, I agree with you, Coercer. Okay, debt. Does Druid? I don't think they have any. I don't think you need anything for Druids to work. It's not like the pet thing, and it's not like the oh god bard thing. Just spell gems, but yeah, it's not like bard spell gems, right? You need a healer. You need a heal spell. You probably keep your DS on your bar. Maybe you keep root on your bar in case of emergencies or something, and a nuke, and that's kind of it. The Druid Hot is quite good. Both the hot part and the bloom gets affected by the healing AAs, and 5% crit from the Druid. Oh wow, that does sound pretty good. Bard, Shaman, Necro. Boy, I don't think you should do that. Bard, Shaman, Necro. Okay, how are you gonna put your spells on your bar, Black Hat? I'm asking, like, genuinely, how are you going to deal with spell gems? It's going to be a huge problem. It's going to be a huge, huge, huge problem. Yeah, there's no way. You don't melody. Yeah, that's for true. Yeah, you don't melody. That's what you do. Yeah, I mean, you're right, Coercer. If you're going to do that, you're not going to melody, because you're just not going to have Odium plus Envenomed only. Okay, so let's assume you did melody. That's 10 slots gone, right? So then you have a heal, Odium, Envenomed, and Puma. I guess that's where you're at, right? It can be done, I guess, but you'd have no Necro spells. You'd have no Necro life tap. Unless you're just going to life tap without healing. I guess you could do that. You just melody 3 single target dots and life tap for sustain. Yeah, I mean, it's a problem. We can argue the specifics of it, but subsequent trios with a Druid, I think it's like a 1. I think it's terrible. Because, like, it's just a Cleric, but worse. Right? Because it still gives you heals, so it's something. But Druid gear, you're not going to be wearing any Druid gear. You don't. The only good Druid weapon would be something that has the Earthquake at level 30. That would be something. Oh, they do AoE. Wait, they AoE. Never mind. They AoE. I'm okay. They still AoE. It'd still be something. DS falls off, but they still have good AoE. AoE is good with them. And then overall power is not very high, right? Like a 4? Like a 4. For grinding, AoE damage shield is not bad. Bosses, I don't know. Druid equals Kite Kings. What? Tell me you haven't played without telling me you haven't played, Black Cat. Oh, okay, there, he fixed it. His next comment, he's like, kiting's obsolete. Yeah. Problem with Earthquake is it go on the weapon and a druid can use. Yeah, that is the problem. That is the problem with the Earthquake thing. You have. Alright, Druid is... what, like slightly worse than Beastlord? As primary? I know that hurts to say, but the pet thing... the pet Giga weapon really carries the Beastlord as the primary for the subsequent thing. Because it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And slow. Slow plus the pet thing kind of carries Beastlord pretty hard. Alright, so next we have Enchanter. Okay, so we can just put this at the top. Versatility. It's a 10, right? It's a 10. I think it's 10. Linchpin? 9 because it doesn't have heals? A 9 because it doesn't have heals? Question mark? Everything but paint your house? Bro, Infern, why are you not getting it to paint your house? 10, Beast Monk, Enchanter, Ogre. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. The pet heals are legit. That's true. That's true. You do have pet heals. A 3? Because it's not... It doesn't carry... it. Like, you don't build around a bard as hard. Enchanter is just like... If you have you leveled with an Enchanter and a Bard Coercer? Because I've leveled as both. And Enchanter is just so much better. I think it's just so much better. We can agree to disagree. I just think it's just so much better than Bard. I'm surprised they made the pet also be a Paladin. I'm also surprised with that. It's kind of weird, right? Technically it has rune too, yeah. Debt? Enchanter, does it have any? Not really. Does it have any? Like, I don't think it really does. Pet hold? Oh, right, it has the pet hold thing. It has the pet hold thing. You're right. And maybe even upgrading moats for leveling spells. Yeah, maybe you actually want to upgrade some spells with Enchanter for it to be as good as it wants to be. You're right. Maybe it does have some debt. Because you really do want to upgrade some of the Enchanter spells. But what about with Beastlord? I guess that's the same with that. So we'd have to go back. Tiny daggers. Tiny daggers. Oh, you're right. All right, we'll leave it at 4. It's got tiny daggers. It has double pet debt. Beast doesn't have to have a thing for its... I mean, that's not worth that much. Beast pet summons fast. Oh, does it? Are they any different? No, I guess they're not, Saren. You're right, Saren. They're not, it's not any different. You're right. We shouldn't put that in. 2A is kind of whatever for hold. It's something though. If you've ever leveled in this game without pet greater hold, you know that it's like a thing. It's a thing that will annoy you at least once an hour. That's how I see it. I don't know. Subsequent trio. I wouldn't give it a 10, but it's got to be pretty high, right? Because the mana regen's never gonna stop being good, but like you also actually it's probably worse. Maybe it doesn't give you plate, but you need to do some amount of heals probably. Yeah, that is why it's not 10 for Linchpin because you need to heal somehow, some other way. It's a 10. The Enchanter pet can reuse gear. Oh, you're right. You're right. I'm stupid, Dastian. You're right. It's a 10. You give it a Fangle, and the Enchanter pet's gonna blast just like every other pet, right? It's whatever. You can play it as a charmer or as a normal pet class, yeah. That's true. You can play it both ways. I mean, charming early on is not worth it, right? And then overall power, we just says like it's like a 9 or it's a 10, right? That being said, do you really want it in every combo? I guess you kind of, I don't know, do you? The fact that they haven't deleted World Till You Hurl says it all. For some reason, I still don't want Enchanter as my primary. Why do I, like, looking at these ratings, why is it that I don't want Enchanter as my primary? Why do I still want to put it as an A? Not every combo, right? Because you want to do things like Berserker, Shadowknight, Paladin, right? To, like, do ultra murder, smite Reeve stuff. Maybe that's why it's not S for a primary. We're addicted to haste spells. Maybe you want to use Shaman and they overlap. Oh, that's a good one. And that's a really good shout out because you want to use Shaman and they overlap a lot. Because its DPS sucks without charming. Yeah, other than using a Giga weapon in your early pet, that's true. You don't want it as your primary because of gearing restrictions. Okay, you're right. So that's the reason. That's the reason it's only A. Because it's just not... Actually, I think it's worse than Bard. I think it's worse than Bard for primary. I think it's worse than this, too, for primary. Because of all those things you just mentioned. I think it's probably my favorite class, but for a primary, I just don't want it as a primary. There's some neat combos that aren't gear requirements with, like, Wiz. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Apocal. If heals are covered, Bard is fine. Enchanter for illusions. Plate carries worse itemization. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna stay there, I think. I think that's good. Alright, so we're on Mage now. Mage is a terrible primary, right? Like you don't want a Mage primary. Versatility is like a it's a 1? Because it can technically be your tank. And that's like the only versatility it has. Other than that, it's one-dimensional. It doesn't have like pretty much the pet tanking is really the only versatility that I can think of for a mage. Linchpinness is like what is it? It's like a berserker. It doesn't carry, right? Used to bring Call of Hero, that's true. That's true. Call of Heroes used to be big. It's better than Beast. No way. Heals and slow are way more linchpin than a pet. It's not close. Heals and pets, or heals and slow, are way more linchpin than anything a mage does. You wouldn't want to use your motes on mage spells other than the pet, right? That's like the only one. Beast heals circles around mage, I agree. Primary, it's a -1. Det, it has the pet thing. It has the pet thing. And then what was the enchanter? Oh, the tiny daggers. It's the same thing as the enchanter. Literally the exact same thing. The daggers plus the pet. It has sustain and damage. Yeah, it does. They have more pet AAs, but do you need them for function? I don't think you do. Like for Bard, like for these to work, you have to do a million things for Bards to be like to work, right? And you do have to use the mage Malachite. You do have to. Okay, subsequent trio. This gets a little better. I'd give it like a 2. Because it's worse than Beast. Because it doesn't have heals. But it has the pet thing where your pet's gonna blast when you give it a crazy weapon, right? 3 AA gets rid of components, but that's still debt. That means you have a debt of 3 AA instead of Malachite. Right? Mage is fine for leveling. It's fine. The pet's gonna blast, but for your playstyle, you only see 2 primary groups: tank or cleric. I agree with you, Black Cat. You primary all the tanks, or you primary the good healers. If pets carry when you reroll, why did this get rated so low? Because it's only gonna happen. It's only gonna be like that to like mid-20s, Coercer. It carries you at 10. It can, right? But then the higher you get, like the scales shift the other direction, right? Mage, Beast, Bard. And then overall power, what do we put Mage at? In the middle. It's the same as Berserker, basically. A 5. I think this is I think this is almost Berserker level for a primary. I don't think you should primary a Mage. I think Beast and Druid are definitely both better than Mage. But Mage is better than Berserker for primary, I think. I think it's better than Berserker for primary. All right. Monk. Monk's pretty good primary. It's not my top pick, but it's good primary. Versatility. Maybe like a 5? Maybe like a 5? What do you guys think? Mage is the same as Berserker. At least Berserker is a better option for gear. That's true. A 5. I think it's a 5 for versatility, right? Like you could jam it into anything and it wouldn't like be terrible. You get Feign Death and Men no matter what, right? One benefit its pet has is you have more class options for gear. That's true. Feign Death, support, heal, dual wield. High skill caps, defense. Second best weapon. The ability to mend so quickly is pretty powerful. It is. So, I mean, you could put Linchpin in this. It's probably like the same for Linchpin, right? No, maybe it's not that high. Maybe it's not that high. Beast is 3. No, it's probably like a 3. It's probably the same as Beast because like its heal is better, but it doesn't have slow. But it has really good weapons and triple attack and man, I don't know. I'm torn. Like, how do you rate this? Because it depends. I think it's more like a 5. Can be your pseudo tank. That's true. That's true. It can be your dude. It can be your pseudo tank. Is like a 6 good? I think a 6 is probably good. It gives you heals. It gives you tons of defense. It can be your fake news tank. Feign Death is incredible. It has crazy weapons. It just needs somebody to slow for it. And somebody to like for real heals too, just in case, right? You can play it without weapons at all. That's true. You could do that. You don't want to, but you could. It has dead, it has 0 dead. Okay, that's not true. You gotta level Mend up. Mend does not start at full value right away. You do have to level Feign Death and Mend up. There is a small amount of debt there. I'd say 7 because you're actually going to build around it. That's true. You are actually going to build around it. First aid and crit man AA. Oh yeah. You don't need those though to like for it to like work. It's not like Bard AAs. You don't need them. I mean, if you're going to start saying you need melee crit, then you need mana regen and you need that's on the same level as saying you need like a million other AAs. The pet one's different because like if you don't have the Bard AAs, they just like don't do anything. And then if you don't have the Beast or anybody with a pet, your pet is the worst. Do Shaman need canny? Yeah, I think they kind of do. Why Monk over Ranger? Mend mostly, I think. And yeah, probably mostly Mend and Feign Death, yeah. The question is, when leveling alts, do you go Monk Enchanter or Paladin Enchanter? I like Paladin Enchanter because of Slay Undead, but it is hard. It's a debate. If the goal is to level in D4, I don't think I'm going to be leveling in D4, but Enchanter is mandatory. That's true. I don't think I'm going to level in D4. Monk greater than Ranger for more defense. Yeah, with most mixes, Monk does have more defense than Ranger. In a vacuum, they don't, but in a realistic scenario, they do. Okay. So, subsequent trio, they're just like really high, right? Because you get Woo's Fists. I mean, are they like an 8, at least an 8, right? When you get the Woo's Fist and then you have more health and you have good gear and you get overhaste and stuff, they're crazy, right? They're crazy. Maybe they're up here. Maybe they're even higher than 8. An 8. Okay. And then overall power was like an 8 too, right? Yeah, like an 8-ish. Whatever, these numbers are, they're all relative. So a monk primary is like an A, right? Or a B? Is it a high B? Because it's worse than these, right? Second or third run, you want D4 or D3 minimum for motes? I mean, maybe. A, low S, B. I think it's kind of a B primary. It's just not as versatile as like an Enchanter or Cleric or Bard, right? A if you're building around it. But I mean like if you're gonna keep reusing it. So that means that sometimes you will and sometimes you won't. Still pick Enchanter, Charm over Monk, yeah. Top melee DPS, yeah, I would agree with that, Timbro. I mean, Ranger or Monk are both pretty good primaries for similar reasons. Monk seems great for a caster melee, like Monk Mage, yeah. That does seem like it'd be pretty good. Okay, Necro. We're gonna try and go faster now, because we're going really slow. Alright, versatility. It's not that high, right? It's not that versatile. What do we say with Mage? It's a little more versatile than Mage. 4 is probably good. Linchpin. It's not. It's not. No, it's got life tap and a pet. It has something. Life tap carries Necro for being a build around, right? Life tap hard carries. I don't know if Necro is still Bud, but I literally suggest no one ever take Necromancer main. Oh, because of the pet thing. Oh, right, Kyle. Yeah, I'm gonna assume that's not a thing for this, but you're aiming for key spells to upgrade to max. That makes sense, Black Cat. That makes sense. Debt. It's got the pet thing. The pet and bone chips. That's it though, right? Especially considering undead. Yeah. Subsequent trio, it's kind of the same as a mage, but a little better because of life taps. It's like the same as a beast, right? It's basically the same thing as a Beastlord. You played to the last day of beta and it wasn't fixed though. Yeah, that's true. We were talking about that, Kyle, when I was playing the mage, remember? Because somebody came in and said that their pet was like made out of paper. Necro should be amazing to pair with SK and Shaman. Yep, I agree. I agree with his work. And then overall power of Necro was pretty high, right? We put it like here, so like a 7. Like a 7-ish. So as a primary, I don't think it's very good though. It's like here. It's better than Mage. Is it better than Druid for a primary? Maybe it is. Maybe it's like here. Maybe it's here. I think maybe it's here. I think it's better than all these. I think it's better than all of these for a primary. I still wouldn't take it, but... What is debt? No, debt means like things that you have to deal with to make it like function or not drive you nuts. That's why a bard has 10 debt. Because you need to get a bazillion things for a bard to even work right. Low B, high C. Alright, I'm going to stick it with B because I feel like it's better than Beastlord. Even though Beastlord has heal and slow, I just think that Necro is... You're going to want Necro in more things. So I'm going to use some bias. I'm going to use some bias on that. This is all just subjective anyways, a lot, right? Alright, Paladin. Versatility's got to be at least a 9. Right? Or an 8? A 9 or an 8? Maybe an 8. Maybe an 8. It's not as versatile as an Enchanter. Linchpin, though, it's 10. It's a 10 on Linchpin. I'm not even gonna argue with that. It's tank and healer and it's a 10 primary. It's true. It's a 10 primary. I agree with you, Twerk. It's an S tier primary. Debt, it does have a little bit of debt. Because you do want Slay Undead. You don't like need it, but you definitely want it, right? Like it's gonna make your leveling so much faster. We'll just put a 1. We'll put a 1 for debt. You have to play Paladin. Subsequent trios is like at least a 9. At least. Because then you just have Slay Undead with Aldrin. And it's it's a 10. It's a 10 for subsequent trios. You get the crazy weapon, you have Slay Undead, you still have heals, you're not gonna die, Is there even a bad combo of Paladin? Not really. That's the reason why it's the linchpin 10. Because you put anything with a Paladin and it's fine, right? Slay Undead, you get mount. That's true. You get the mount too. And then overall power is 10, right? What is it, a 9? It's a 9, right? Yeah, it's a 9. It's not a 10. Shaman and Enchanter are the 10s for power. So, Paladin's S for your primary. Can't be bad, especially with all the undead, yeah. Secrets. Bard, Necro Druid is the same now. Necro. Oh, they fixed it. Thanks, Dastion. So that answers your question about the whole pet thing. They fixed it. According to Secrets, which is definitely an authoritative source, so we're going to go with it. All right, Ranger. Ranger, they are pretty versatile, guys. They're pretty versatile, right? They're not as versatile as Paladin, but they're pretty close. They're pretty close. Because they're like a crappier Paladin for versatility, right? They're like a slightly crappier Paladin. Linchpin, also, they're pretty covery. They cover a lot of stuff. They're your healer and your tank, possibly too, with eventually Pacify. And they give you dual and triple attack, which is something Paladin can't give you. Pair well with melee. Maybe they're like an 8. I think they're like an 8 for this, because they're a tank that comes with heals too. Pacify. They don't get Pacify till 39 indoors, unfortunately. Otherwise, I'd probably bump it up to a 9. How good are their nukes? The dot one, the fire dot line is very good, Twerk. It is very efficient and pretty good damage. Yeah, I think 8's pretty good. Det? Do they have any det? I don't think they do. Paladin has it for Slay Undead. I don't think Ranger does, because I think they get everything automatically, right? Like the strike through and all that crap, they just get it. Have to hug a tree for daily buff. I don't think they have any debt. I think Ranger is living debt free, no credit cards. Subsequent trio, not as good as a Paladin because your weapon options are a lot worse. You don't get a pet, so they're not going to carry you. Yeah, I don't know, for subsequent trio, I feel like they're not that good. Oh, you get the bow. You get the bow. What am I talking about? You could use the Ranger bow for the next trio, right? And that would carry hard. Like, their bow has got to be better than their other weapon options for subsequent trios, right? And then you can give, like, the other good weapons you got to a pet if you have it in your pet. That'd be pretty crazy. For Ranger, do they need to get fletching? Not really. They don't have to. But maybe? I guess you could say a 1. You could say a 1 for that. That's... Didn't bow get nerfed to shit? Wait, what? What do you mean, Animander? What do you mean it got nerfed? Combining plus 0 arrows to... Okay, so the det's like an 11 if you want to fletch. An 11 if you want good arrows. There you go. It's a 1 det because you have to fletch a little bit. But if you want good arrows, it's an 11 because see you later a few hours of your life. Ranger only real funky is their 40% haste cloak. Oh, that's true. They get the cloak. I wonder when they can click that. Ranger can be haste cap without any haste class. Wow, that's a good point. Damn, we give it a 9? Because of the cloak? When can you click the cloak, guys? Does anybody know? Because if you can click that early, they're crazy for subsequent if you get the bow, right? They're actually crazy. Wow. We'll keep it at a 9. You can buy the arrows from the vendor that everyone else is selling to level up flesh. That's true. You could do that. You could do that. And then overall power is not that high though, right? It's like a 6. It's like a 6 for overall power. So Ranger primary looks pretty good, guys. Like, is a Ranger primary better than a monk, maybe? Just because of this? Is it better than a monk for a primary? I think it is. It's closer to, I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe they're the same. Long term. I think it probably is. I think it's right here. What is it? What is what? Sorry, Apocal. The haste clicky? Is that what we're talking about? I don't know what the name of it is. Also has damage shield. That's true. Damage shield is something. Level 40? Oh, okay. So you don't haste cap right away with a ranger. That's kind of unfortunate. Dark Cloak of the Sky. That sounds correct. Above monk for primary, yeah. Okay, we'll go with that. I think ranger's a little better than monk for a primary. What are we at now? Rogue. Okay, we all know rogue is not a good primary. Versatility is like a 1. Like a little more versatile than Berserker. Okay, we'll give it a 2. We'll give it a 2. It's a little more versatile than Berserker. Lynchpin is like, is Berserker 0 also? Yeah, this is, you don't, oh no, that's not true. It's a 1. It gives you like some heal, some slow. It's pretty crappy. It's pretty crappy at it, but it has something. So we won't give it a 0. It's something. Monk has higher haste cap. That's true. That's true. Monk does have a higher haste cap. Debt? I don't think it has any. You don't need Shroud of Stealth, right? Like, what do you need a Shroud of Stealth for later? That's like for raids and stuff, right? I guess we could say a 1, because you do want Shroud of Stealth for, like, eventually, but it's kind of whatever. Monk has to sacrifice an entire class slot for haste. That's true, it does, until you get the Epic. Until we get the Ranger, or the Epic and Kunark, that's true. The only bonus to Rogue is ease of good backstab ability. And the Finny weapon is nice to pull a proc off of. Yeah, that's true, Mike. Is it click usable any? I hope not. I'm going to assume it's not, because I don't think they would do something like that. Subsequent trio. It's not a 0. You can get a Sky Rogue Dagger, and then get the Ifriti Spear debt. That's true. That is something you need to get if you're a rogue main. You literally need to get it. Maybe we'll give it a 3 for that. If you want to play a rogue as your primary, you absolutely want the Ifriti Spear. That's a smart comment, Coercer. Subsequent trio, I guess like a 3. It's worse than a Beastlord for subsequent trios, right? Maybe it's a 2. But it has good weapons. I don't know. It has good weapons. Maybe it's better. Maybe it's like a 5 or a 4. Same as Zerker. Yeah, you're right. It's probably the same as a Zerker. We had a 6 there because of the weapon. The weapon for Rogue is not quite as good as a Zerker, though, right? It's a little worse. I think a 5. I think 5's good. Because you'll blast. If you get the Rogue Sky Weapon and you have the Ifriti Spear, you're going to delete stuff on the next trio, right? You know, it's good dodge damage. Sneak is good for dad gamers going AFK. That's true. It's almost like it's a more annoying feign death, right? Rogue is D0 King. I think Wizard is D0 King. Isn't it? Wizard Bard? Wizard Bard D0 Kings? Question mark. And then overall power of a rogue's like not really that high, right? What did we put Druid at? Druid and I guess we didn't do these yet. What did we put Mage at? 5? Yeah, it's like a 5. That's fine. All right, so primary rogue here. Here? Is it a D? I think it's a D. I think it's a D. I think it's a D. You don't want a primary rogue, guys. It's not a good idea. If you want to play a rogue, that's cool, but I don't think you want to primary it. Same as Zerker. It is basically the same as Zerker. They're basically the same thing. Interchangeable. They kind of are, Kyle. I agree with you. Rogue being crap for 27 years. Rip. Rip. Shadowknight. All right, this is a better one. So, wait, I've been doing SK, but we say Shad. Shad. Versatility. So it's less versatile than a Paladin. It's probably like about a monk versatility. Yeah, it's a little better because it's a tank. Maybe a 6. No, it's probably like 5. It's like a monk versatility. Because it's a tank, but it's not... Its healing is kind of healing, but kind of not. You kind of want a Shaman with a Shadowknight for like the good. I guess it doesn't matter. Good stances. Are we taking into account the dev announcements on the Discord? We are trying to, Elendar. We are trying to. It will become a lot more viable with new Harm Touch. That's true. That's true. That's true. We'll give it a 6 then. Yeah, the instant feign death is much better. That's true. But like the Harm Touch while you're leveling too, though, Harm Touch healing you is going to be really good, right? But that's some debt. If we're making that assumption, there's some debt. It has some debt. Leech Touch, is Leech Touch 7 or 9, or how much does it cost? The Leech Touch is debt they have now. Or is it AAs? Leech. 6. It's got 6 AAs in debt. That's higher than most people. That's higher than most. If I go SK, I'm going Glass Cannon with Berserker for more Harm Touch. I mean, if you get the Harm Touch heal pretty early on, it might just kind of cannon. It might be like at least a cardboard cannon. Or like a plastic cannon, maybe? Not as bad as Bard. No, it's not even close to a Bard. That's for sure. Linchpinness, you can build her. It's like an 8, right? Because it's a tank with some healing. It's not a Paladin. It's not an Enchanter, but it's pretty good. Cardboard Chainsaw, I like that. That'd be fun. Oh, it's level 40? Oh. Tank with some sustain. Tank with some sustain. Okay, subsequent trios. It does have a very good sky weapon. Harm Shield for Shadowknight, you get level 50. Lets you use it while you get stamina back from Balance Dance. That's interesting. That's an interesting strategy. I don't think I would have ever thought of that. Makes sense, though. Poop tissue, already damp from wiping cannons. Oh, man. That's bad. Subsequent trios. I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good for subsequent, because its sky weapon's quite good, and it's going to be plate. And like the life taps will definitely carry you the second time, right? Because you're not going to take any damage and you're going to blast. SK Paladin Zerk for next trio, yeah, twerk. Yeah, that would definitely work. It's 18 seconds. That's a long time. Same as monk for subsequent. You get really good armor. Yeah, I think it's about the same as a monk. I think it's about the same for subsequent. Overall power. What'd we say? A bit above a necro. So 7. 7. I think a Shadowknight for your primary is like an A tier primary, right? Like there. I think it's an A. I think it's beneath these, but A tier primary. Very good two-hander, yep. And you can dual wield with their Blood Moon too, right, Black Hat? Their Blood Moon primary one-hander is pretty good. All the tanks are A tier at least. Yeah, I agree with that. At least A tier for primary tank. Okay, that's good then. Next, we have this guy. Now this guy is different than the last list. This guy is different than the last list because, you know, next trio and stuff comes into play a lot with a Shaman. The versatility of Shaman's pretty high, but not as high as... I don't think it's quite as high as Enchanter. I don't know. Like, so Bard was 10, which makes sense, because you can literally just throw it in anything. It buffs casters, it buffs melee, it buffs everybody. And Enchanter's 10. Maybe a 9? Maybe like a 9. Shaman, a 10, if you'll be switching classes a lot. I mean, the problem with Shaman primary, for me, is that it's not that good at leveling. Right? One hand Blood Moon, yeah. Not as high as me after 3 gummies and a jiggly soda. Linchpin, can you build around this? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's probably like a little below a Ranger. It's a little bit below a Ranger, I think. Because, like... I mean, maybe it's higher. This is a hard one for me. Because, like, it sucks at early leveling. But it's the best class. It's one of the best classes in the games at the end. And it does have heals and is fairly tanky. Hey, thanks for the follow, Vander. Shaman is great with anything with mana. With Knights, the damage from Canny can be mitigated from Mage Hunter, yeah. The slow lets any tank blast. Do you guys have build around Shaman to maximize it? Yeah, let me give it an 8 then. You have to build around it. But you certainly can. Debt, does it have... It has cannibalized debt. And pet debt. It's got dogs and cannibalized debt. You need those. You need cannibalized and dog greater hold. Subsequent trios, I don't feel like it's that good. It's worse than Beastlord, I think. For subsequent trio leveling, I think it's worse than a Beastlord. Because it doesn't get the pet carry early on. And it doesn't, and a Gardock is an okay weapon. If you build around the dots. Shaman doesn't add anything for new leveling. Yeah, it basically, when you start a new trio, it's basically like an okay healer. That's really all it adds. It doesn't give you anything else for leveling, really. Picking Shaman won't, yeah, that's true. It won't ruin it. In Ven does it all, though. Not at level 10, it doesn't. Not at level 10, it doesn't. Overall power is just a 10, though, right? Or was it a 9? I guess it's a 10. Overall power is just a 10. It's just that it's not good at leveling. Gardock procs at level... Wait, Gardock is a proc? What proc does Gardock even have? I didn't know it was a proc. Oh, really? Wait, what? Whoa, that's crazy. Wait, what? Okay, we're gonna boost the subsequent trio at least a little bit. That's crazy. Putting Gardock on your dog's pretty cool. You can't get a dog till like late 20s, but that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Gardock on your dog, man. It's good. Before Odium equals 5. After Odium, everything's trivial. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, so where's Shaman? Like a B? For primary? Like maybe a little better than a Necro? A little better than a Necro, I think. Because it's kind of similar to a Necro, but it's just kind of better. I would much rather primary a monk. A melee, right? Like a melee or a tank. Better organization, but slower start. You know, I think that's pretty good. All right, we only got 2 left. We're gonna make it through, boys. I believe it. Warrior. I mean, Warrior's a good primary. Not super versatile though. It's kind of versatile because you can put it with lots of Berserker, Shaman combo things, and you take no damage, and you get crazy good gear, and you never take any damage, and you don't do the greatest damage, but you never die. It's pretty good, right? It goes with anything. It goes with anything. That's true. That's true. It does kind of go with almost anything. Maybe the versatility should be higher. Maybe it should be pretty high. 1 below SK and Pal. I mean, Paladin's an 8. Shadowknight's a 5. I think Warrior's more versatile than Shadowknight. Maybe not. This is hard. This is hard. Because, like, on one hand, it's super versatile, but then on the other hand, it's so one-dimensional. You think it's the best primary that's not a Paladin. I mean, that's a fair... I can see why you would say that. Now that they changed SK, I wonder what Shadowknight Paladin Berserker will be like having Harm Touch Shield Paladin. I agree with you. I'm very interested in that. Berserker, Paladin, Shadowknight, when you have really good gear, might be ridiculous. It might just be like the lowest effort blaster build ever. Shadowknight Gather Shadows is pretty versatile. You mean just having invis? Because it's just a normal invis right now. We don't have Circlet of Shadows yet. Maybe Warrior, maybe if you want to go heavy melee with little healing. Yeah, I think 5 is fine. I think the Shadow Knight and Warrior are pretty similar versatility. Lynchpin, I mean, it's a 10, right? No, it's a 9. Because it's not as... Whoa, what the hell did I just do? What did I just do? Okay, there we go. I think it's a 9. Just because it's not quite as everything as a Paladin. It's a little less everything. But, like... Obviously, it's, you know, you just, hey, Ravon, how's it going? Double Reaver, double Smite, yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be... Paladin also getting 6% flat heals too for free. Yeah, that's true. That's true. They did get a little buff. I was surprised they buffed Paladins. I was really surprised they buffed Paladins, because like they're already so good. Det, Warrior. 0, right? You don't have anything like the Shaman Det. Det, gear? Okay, fair. Fair. Fair, Coercer. Actually, maybe it's even higher. You're right, they're very gear dependent. I kind of agree with you on that. They're basically nothing without gear, right? Like a Shadow Knight and a Monk are still pretty good without gear, but a Warrior is pretty trash without gear. You don't get plate until 40 plus. That's true. That's true. So we'll put the Det at a 4 because it's actually surprisingly high. You're gonna swap out Paladin for Warrior? I could Agony. That sounds legit. You have no tools. It's all gear. Yeah, that's true. Subsequent trios. So you're gonna use Fangol if you're trying to level fast. If you get it, it's probably a little better than a Shaman, just because of the weapon thing. And you know Shamans don't get pets very early. Maybe like a 5. I mean, you're not going to take any damage, though. You're going to be invincible. Subsequent trios, Warriors are just going to, like, you're going to be invincible, like, legitimately. You'll rate Warrior really high because it's easy to get good gear, and then it's insane. Before that's not a lot, yeah. Warrior gets loads of nice weapons for pets. I mean, their Fangol is the best pet weapon, right? The two-hander, the 2935. Because their other good weapon, the Dagos, is not really very good for pets. Its damage is too low. Like, the damage rating is too low to make much of an impact for pets. Unless you want your pet to tank, then Dagos is really good. I agree that getting good war was the fastest. I got a lot of Indicolite gear. I kind of agree with you guys. I gave it all to my pet, because I couldn't wear it, but... And then overall power, what is it, like a 9? Where you go? Like an 8? An 8? 8 for overall power? Alright, so what's war for primary has got to be up here, right? I think I'd put it atop of A. What do you guys think? I think Warrior's top of A for primary. Which is weird to say better than Shadowknight, but I just think it's just that good once you get gear. Just because you don't take any damage. It's the best primary that's not Paladin. All your war weapons and armor also work for most pets. Well, they work for every pet. Every pet's a warrior. That's a good point, Neo. Every warrior item works for every pet. I mean, I guess they might not matter for the mage fire pet, but do people use that? I don't know. Net Nanny strikes again. Okay, we got only one class left. Wizard. Oh yeah, we don't need to copy this. Wizard. Versatility. 0. It is 0 versatility. Literally no versatile. You nuke, and then you nuke. And then you nuke, and then guess what you do? You nuke. That's it. That's what it does. Linchpin. I'm gonna give it like a 2. Because it does a lot of damage. It does a lot of damage, and you can build around that. You can port. You can... Okay, you're right. Timbro's right. You can nuke, and then port, and then nuke again. That's what you can do. You can love some people. All right, cool. Best non-bot DPS, you dot, then you nuke. Ice Comet. Wiz Monk Bard. I'm gonna give it a 2 for Linchpin. It's better than a Rogue, I think, for Linchpin, which isn't saying much, but you can give it a lot of mana regen, and it can blast. It done. It has Det, right? It has the crit. How many AAs is the spell crit? Because like if you're playing a wizard, you need to get the spell crit stuff, right? Like you need to. Because why are you playing a wizard if you don't? Like maybe at 3? I don't know how many points it is. We're gonna look. Wizard? Wizard. Improve familiar. Wait, is this what gives you the mana regen? Oh, this is the crit. Okay, so you need this. Oh, you need this. This is what you need. You need this. You don't need mana burn. That's whatever. So you need familiar. You need 6. You just need the improved familiar. That's what you need for a wizard. So a 3 is probably fine, right? I think a 3 is fine. And then subsequent trios, not very good. Not very good. It's not like the worst thing ever. If you upgrade like all the spells all the way up, it's pretty good. But by the time you do that, I feel like you're better off just using Giga weapons. That's not for subsequent trios. It doesn't, Coercer. The first trio, Garrison carries hard. But subsequent ones, it does not. It'll still be good. But, you know, you can melee for 200 next trio, right? Instead of nuking for 250. Wizards are awesome for first run through. Yes, I agree. It is awesome for first run through, but subsequent, they're okay. If you pair it with a ranger, it becomes a little better, right? It's good if you can AoE. Okay, you're right. That's like the druid thing, right? What do we put for druid? It's got to be slightly lower than druid. 3? So maybe a 2. Maybe a 2 because you can AoE. But you don't get heals. Should be fairly good when you mode it. Yeah, but that's true with everything. Are you really going to moat garrisons when you come back with, like, a Fangol or a Aldrin's or something? Maybe you will. Maybe you will. If you want to level with Wizard over and over again from, like, 18 to 26 or whatever it is. Wizard Enchanter can level any class as a 3rd with AoE stun nukes. That's true, Elcry. That's a good point. Maybe it is just better than I'm saying. Maybe it's really good for subsequent. Just because you can just AoE nuke, AoE stun. Or AoE mez, rather, not stun. You mez, not stun, right? Maybe you do both? You do both? Maybe we give it like a 5. You guys are right. Maybe it is just really good with Enchanter. I'll give it to you. Which simply isn't the key, yeah. Enchanter's the key, but you need like Wizard or Druid for it to work. But that kind of means a Druid can do the same thing, right? Doesn't that mean that Druid should be better at leveling? Because their AoE at certain points is better than Wizard. Yeah, we'll put it at a 4 then. Overall power of a Wizard. What did we put? Like a slightly above Druid and Beastlord. So what do we say for Druid? A 4? So like a 4? 5? A 4? Give it a 4. Druid is never better than Wizard for killing. That's true. I think AoEing on relevel would be fun. It would be, Coercer. I agree with you. It would be fun. I thought that the Bard Wizard Druid would be really fun to AoE with. The cooldown prohibits Druid. You can use both, though. If you do Druid and Wizard at the same time, you can, like, do both of them. I guess you could do, like, Enchanter, Druid, Wizard and go really hard. You can go really hard. All right. That's it. Oh, we need to put the Wizard somewhere. It's like here, right? Maybe here? It's kind of the same as a mage, right? Like, do you want an AoE level or do you want to have the pet carry? Actually, maybe it's better. No, it's not. It's not. You don't want it as a primary. It's a little better than these.